Hi guys, this is Beverley here and Daniella. We're here today to talk about vibrational experiences, and we have a lot of subjects we'd like to cover. So we hope that this assists you in helping your own vibrational experience, and the intention is to guide you to be aware of your vibrational frequencies and how you can manifest abundance in your life in all areas. So welcome, we're so excited to be here, and this is going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. So Daniela, we talked about that we would love to talk about vibrational frequencies and what they actually are.
Yes.
What would you like to say on that subject, dear?
I suppose I came across a mentor a little while ago. She's based in US, and the way she described it was that it's sort of like a radio, or it is like a radio frequency, and you can sort of tune in, and that we vibrate between 0 and 1,000. Love, the vibration of love operates at the number 528, where most people are operating just below at 491, so they're not even experiencing that love energy. Gratitude, for example, is at 750. So there's a lot of work and consciousness to be raised at that level and to stay there and maintain it. Because of course sometimes things can pull us down. So we need to be conscious of that energy and obviously always try and operate at least from love. So above that halfway mark, operating at 528 and working towards our way of gratitude. So there are only a couple of people that are noted to ever hit that thousand mark in vibrations, and someone like Gandhi or Dalai Lama, where they've sort of committed themselves to that journey, and it's become like it's ingrained in them. It's their practice that they've come to. Someone like Osho as well, a spiritual leader.
And I believe that when we really go inward and create that space of peace for us, and for me, that's only possible by being silent. So either by just stepping back from everyday activities and things that are going on around us and actually giving ourselves, short periods of time during the day to either do a breathing exercise or meditate. And you don't have to sit down and be in like the lotus position and meditate. You can do it by focusing on something in nature, or actually just by being really present with whatever you're doing. If you're washing the dishes, or if you're playing with your child, or talking to somebody, just being in that space where you're calm and you're focusing on your breathing and you're focusing on and listening to what's going on around you, that also attaches us to that place of love within us, because we're just being, instead of the mind going on and on and on, creating
Constantly.
so much noise. The thoughts, they create so much noise. So I think a key point is to be quiet, to be still.
Yeah. And just to add to that too, it's something that you did mention during the week, and it's simply to be the observer.
Yes.
To be the observer of your body and your mind, and just to watch your thoughts pass, not to judge them in any way, just allow them to come in and to leave.
Yes.
And just watch that constant flow. But again, you're in that energy of observer when you're just being.
Yes.
When you've just stopped and you just notice, and you're just in an energy that's allowing you to feel every experience, because we do go into an autopilot mode and we sort of just run through our routines, especially our morning routines, our night routines, our day routines with work, and there's no presence. It's just doing.
Yes.
More consciousness required, I think, to raise that vibration.
Yes. And also to set intentions to actually be present, and to set intentions to come from that space of love, which we all are. So it should be the most natural thing in the world, to just be in that space. But because of the way this reality has been created and conditioned through many, many years, we've not been taught to take the time out to do this. So I think it's so important that we now lift and focus on lifting the vibration for ourselves and for others and for the universe, because we're going through this evolution right now, which is a very, very key part of the world's revolution. So to be it, we do it firstly for ourselves, always firstly for ourselves, and with that it sends out the ripple effect where we affect everybody else we're connected with, and then it goes further and further. So it's an important thing, I think.
It is. Even to see, so like you were saying with the being, and if to combine that with the ripples and actually watching ripples. So for me personally, I do take a lot of walks along the beach.
Yes.
Beach has always been my sanctuary point.
Yes.
Whether it's currently where I live or if there's a spot I stay about 2 hours away from home. I was there once a month for at least a week. So it brought me back to my center, but just to sit there and to watch the water, and especially at night, because it's easier, and it's less noisy. Yes. So it's easier at night to watch it with the moonlight shining over the water.
Oh, that's
and
beautiful.
As watching,
yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah. So as you're watching, it's just so calmly moving. It's just being, but you can feel once you're sort of going into a trance with that.
Yes.
And your mind, and that's it, your mind stops, there is nothing else that exists.
Yes.
You feel the breeze, perhaps there's a sea breeze, but you're in like the water's got you in this trance of just constant flow.
Yes.
It's not stagnant, there's nothing that's come in its way to stop it and put it on hold. Or there's nothing to interrupt its vibration. It will always overcome it. And it's slow. If you ever watch the waves, it's always in a very slow motion. So for me, and I took a friend, or I do take a lot of friends down to the beach with me when I do go for a walk, and it's a place where I don't like talking. So my friends know that not to talk when we're sort of walking along the water. Yeah, because they feel the energy too. So one particular friend, he was always quite analytical, always had a lot of self-talk happening. And didn't know how to come back to his centre, didn't know how to stop that noise and just wanted an end to it. So I started taking him with me to the beach, and he'll call me and he'll say, I've just been by myself, like I'm going by myself, almost every day to the beach, whether it's with me or whether it's by himself, because he finally found a way to calm himself.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and that's that's a greatest gift to somebody, for ourselves or somebody else.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I love the beach too, and for me the sound of the water is also something that I really connect to, and I really get that with the sense of the flow and just being there and just it opens your senses to the smell and the sounds, and it's just so beautiful. It is really. And another thing I love is going to the forest or the woods where there's a lot of trees. And I do something called tree hugging, and I know you're laughing and you think this is so funny. But
I haven't hugged a tree in a while. I've done it when I was young, but I haven't done it in a while.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I was introduced to it about 3 years ago by a friend, and we used to go and walk in the woods, and I've always loved the woods. I love the smell, and I love the way the trees and the leaves just blow in the wind, and I love the sound of the birds, and I just love it. And she said to me, have you ever hugged a tree? And I'm like, no, I've sat under a tree and meditated, but I've never actually put my arms around a tree and hugged it, And she says, come on, try it. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll try anything for once. So I started hugging trees. And, I just felt that magnificent, strong energy, and I just felt so vitalized. I mean, you have to, of course, be open to it and allow yourself to receive it, but wow, they're so amazing and so powerful. And I do this on a regular basis, and it just gives me so much energy. And it's like you can connect to everything. I mean, you can sense the vibration of the tree when you do this. And you just receive it, and then you send it love, and then it receives too. So it's beautiful. I love it. You should try it.
I will give it a go. We haven't got too many big trees around here, but I'll find them.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, of course. Well, we have lots of trees in Denmark, so it's no problem. And a lot of old ones, so yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was thinking, we talked about that we'd love to share some guidance on abundance. Yes.
Yeah, is that what you're going to say?
Yes. And I'd love you to share with us, for those, I know it's been posted in the group, but for those of us that those of us that haven't seen it or been aware of it, the jars you create, they're so good.
Can I get them?
Yeah, we created the challenge, didn't we? The 30-day challenge, where we created a letter to our soul and with intentions. And then, Daniella, you take over. what it was.
So what I kept saying, and there's a couple of people in the group that actually I saw it from them. They're posting up on their Facebook walls. It were 2 jars. One jar was to focus on all that they want to create. So they're putting it sort of like people putting money into a jar and sort of saving for something. But this was a little bit different. This was, you're not saving it. It was setting the intention free. So clearing your mind so that other things can come through. But setting it in there, it's almost like, I don't know, sometimes I light things on fire too to set them free. But I like them actually. I like this jar. So I sat there with my little papers and pens. And let's get them. Hold on.
Yeah, get them.
Okay. So this is my jar with all of my intentions and all that I wish to create. There were things in there about travel, about creating business, multiple businesses, blogs. Basically my plan for the next year. Some things, that may seem unachievable but no longer unachievable. It's the intention for the year. So I kept focusing on this jar, and it's raising my energy so much so that actually one thing I had just achieved just before I put it into the jar was work. So I've been looking to move out of real estate industry and moving into a travel industry. I had a great opportunity arise, one that I actually wasn't really seeking for. Not when I was speaking with my recruitment agent. So she basically said to me that she has this role. There were some parameters around it where I didn't want to leave where I was before the end of the year. But I always had the intention that I wanted to at least be there 2 days a week, working part-time in the travel so I could start learning, because I wanted to start my own travel business next year and start learning the processes. And I said to them, look, I'm happy to start next year. They didn't want me to start next year. They wanted me to start as soon as possible. So I did manifest the job that I wanted. It's perfect because it's just 6 months, which is what I wanted, because I was looking to travel the last 6 months of the year, next year. And I get to start this year part-time, 2 to 3. I'm working 3 days. So I'm learning all the processes, and I'm really, really having so much fun with it. And it's exactly what I wanted. Very light, very fun energy. So I suppose that's just one thing off the list that and there's so many more. And when you're actually vibrating so much higher, when you're vibrating so much higher, it's just so much easier to manifest, and you're not even thinking about the lack of it. You're focusing on. So the concept is that most people are focusing on the lack of money, lack of support, lack of time, but there's always an abundance, and we're always doing things and spending our money or whatever it may be, whatever you're seeing in lack, you're always spending that in accordance with your values. And maybe sometimes we need to sit down and have a look at our values and I suppose realign them to what we actually desire, and shift that focus to see what we truly want and how to create the abundance, and just focus on abundance like we did with the 30-day challenge, was to focus really on our intentions for what we wanted to create in our life. And for so many of us already focusing on it, it's lifted our energy much higher. And I know that's happened for you as well. So this is a great testament to know and to see that it actually does come to fruition. And the more that you're working on raising your vibration, the faster you're going to manifest whatever it is that you want in your life. Yes. Whatever you desire, you're able to have it.
Yeah, of course. And it's already actually, as soon as the intention is sent out, as this is my understanding of how the universe works and the universal energy, it is as soon as you send out the intention and you ask for something, it is already being created. So the key there is then to be willing to receive it. And like you mentioned so beautifully, it doesn't work if you're in the lack mentality. So you have to believe it, you have to feel it, you have to sense it with all your body and your mind and your heart, and you have to have your heart open, and you have to have this sense of, this is coming to me, this certainty, this knowing that you send it out and the universe has to give it back. So it's there. And then it's again the observation of what shows up, so that that matches the energy, not the intention, because the intention can limit us as well, the outcome, because the outcome, it doesn't always look how we believe it can look, or we think it can look, because it's beyond
because the angels like to play.
Yes, but true creation is beyond thought. So we can only think what we already have in our mind and what we've already experienced. But there's so many other possibilities out there, and the universe has no limitation. So maybe the job, like you said, your intention was that you started in January next year, but it showed up. And how did it show up actually? How did that show up for you? It just came?
The recruitment agency, the recruiter, she called me, and someone I've actually never worked with before. So she had my details and she just gave...
Yeah, she was just attracted to you. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And that's how it works. And you took the opportunity. Could you sense that energy matched the energy of your intention?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt it when I first met, when I first had my interview, when I first met one of the ladies working there.
Yeah.
Very proper in the way they talk, which is what I'm looking forward to improve my own language, I think. My daily language, not my writing language. They're two different things. So I was looking to improve that as well. And they're all very well spoken over there. So there's no slang. It's quite proper, but it's quite fun as well. It's a very light office.
Beautiful. And that was important for you, I remember you saying. That it's light and it's fun. And of course you desire to be able to have the freedom to learn everything that you desire to learn for your own business later on, which is the next intention for you in this area. So,
but actually, I can even I don't know. I might just throw this out there. What I noticed when I first started, I started a couple of weeks ago now. But what I've noticed is, because maybe my role is to become redundant at the end of the 6 months, because they're going to take on most probably a travel agency.
Yes.
I keep seeing it like they're the first client that I'm working with as well in my own travel business to keep them there.
Yeah.
The thought keeps, they have big business with travel. So, I think it's sort of all worked out for a reason, me creating a relationship with them, me creating relationships with the accommodation and the flights and things like that, because I've got to do that for my own business too. Yeah. So I'm not doing double work.
No.
It's actually working very well for me with ease.
Yes. And that is so important. Yes. Because we do tend to create difficulties in our lives, don't we? And we all do.
Yeah.
and sometimes, I think also myself, wow, I just take life so seriously sometimes. And, I've really become aware of the last couple of months that life doesn't have to be so serious. Let's have some fun, because when we're in that energy, fun has also another energy, doesn't it? I mean, that is so light and you get like euphoric. So when you're having fun, I noticed that everything comes so much easier too. So
and
it's,
from out of the blue, from unknown and unexpected ways.
Yes, it's amazing, amazingly beautiful. I love it. I really do. So I was thinking, just to round this off with alignment and matching energy, and when we create these intentions, it's so important, like you did yourself, to be aware of when something shows up, that it does match that energy that your intention is created for. So, and some people don't really know what I mean by that, but what it is it's you can sense the energy with a feeling. You can. It's how you are in that moment, and if you feel that you resonate with the people and the place, sometimes we go to a place and we walk into a room where there's other people, and you can sense where they are. Everybody has this. Yes, you can, and you can also sense the energy, if it's heavy, if it's light, if it's fun, if it's serious. You don't have to read everybody to know this, but we have this like sensory on the tips of our fingers. We can sense it, just by being there. Yes. And it's the same with places. You can walk into a room, and you can just like get shudders and have this like uncomfortable feeling in your body. And or you can walk into a room and like, wow, this is great, this space. Oh, it's beautiful. And it doesn't have to be like beautiful to the eyes, but the energy is beautiful.
So to your heart.
Yes, so it's really important to be aware of that when we set intentions out, and it's the same with money. Like a lot of people, they talk about that they would like a lot more money. And who wouldn't? It creates more fun, doesn't it? More fun things to do and more people to help and so on. But what happens is they have the intention and they send out the intentions that, okay, I would like to create more abundance in my life. But then they don't believe,
they can attract it.
On a deeper level, on the subconscious mind, that they can attract it. They believe, we're so conditioned to believe that we have to work so hard to earn money, and it just doesn't happen like that in the universe. So I've got a little story I'd like to share with you. I was made redundant in 2008, and because of the crisis that the world has decided to call it, labels, and that for me was a gift. Because I was doing something that I didn't really love. I was selling in jewellery and things like that. I love the customers, I love the connection, but I just wasn't interested in the things, and that had to have so big a value and things like that. So I was made redundant. And at that time, my child was very small, and we just bought a house, and we were renovating the house, and I could have really gone into, oh my God, how are we going to cope with this? But what happened was I felt relief that I didn't have to continue doing something that I wasn't very happy about. And then I saw opportunity. Because then I was like, okay, this is like a new painting. I can just paint the picture how I want it to be. I can start creating and going, really asking myself, what is it you desire in your life? What do you want to create? And that is when I started working more and more in personal development, and went for my coaching education. And I've always worked voluntarily with young people. And then I thought, okay, I love that work, so create that. And then everything just fell into place because I was so clear and I believed it. I believed it was possible. So the coaching, I decided on December the 30th that I wanted to do this. I was fired just up to Christmas. I decided I wanted to do this coaching education, and a place came on the 3rd of January. Boom, in, and things just Then I took the education. It takes about a year, but in between all the modules and the training and everything, clients just came to me. They just wanted to talk to me, and then sorry, an opening at the centre I was volunteering for. They asked me if I would do some group coaching for young children that have been abused. Boom! So everything just like stepped into place, and that's what happens when you're so clear on your intention and you believe it.
Yeah.
So,
I love that.
yeah. Let's
it's just
go out
fun.
and manifest, guys. Just believe.
And you can just play it. Actually, what I wanted to mention, you were talking before about attracting. You attract like energy.
Yes.
So people who, I'll use this as an example because we see this quite a bit, or even for myself. When you're quite there could be a day when you find yourself quite angry or frustrated or whatever that emotion is, and all of a sudden, because I know for us in this group especially that we try and maintain a high positive energy most of the time. There's sometimes that's it just we get pulled down, and it's okay to be there, but it's to work back up. And to stay back up in that higher vibration. But when you do drop your vibration and when you do step into that negative emotion, how quick do you notice that you attract like people who are also have that emotion?
Straight away.
And it's like a wake up call, and you think, like I've just dropped that energy. Do I want to? And it's a sort of a test sometimes. Do you want to stay in this energy with them? And feel sorry for yourselves and play the victim, or do you want to rise above it back again and feel that love?
Yes. And it's so funny because this happens, like you say, for all of us, and you can. I start seeing, okay, then I meet somebody that starts shouting at me, and I never meet people that are aggressive ever, because I don't come from that aggressive place in no way, shape, or form, but. Then they come, and then something like if you're in then I'm in traffic, and something happens on the road so that I'm late for work or whatever, or where I'm going to a meeting, and then you meet someone there that's like really either sad or that in the low vibration or angry or frustrated, like you said, and it just keeps going until you actually say, okay, stop, this is going to change right now, and then you change it. Yeah.
But it's a great, the environment's a great thing for that. When you're, maybe sometimes you're not even conscious of the emotion that you're experiencing or the vibration that you're vibrating at. And then you start experiencing or noticing things all of a sudden just different in your environment. And you think, well, what's just happened? What have I dropped to that I'm attracting like?
Yes.
I must, like energy attracts like energy. So what energy did you fall to? Or rise to, because we do rise to energy as well and attract even more opportunities than I think we would ever have imagined, or in different ways that we never thought of. So it works both ways. So it just depends what energy you want to play with, and it's fun. Play it like a game.
Yeah, it is a game. Like a game. Life is a game.
It's just a game. Have fun with it. You can drop your energy consciously and notice what comes quickly, and you can change it in an instant to be back high again.
Yes.
And
that's the fun part. If we really embrace that and acknowledge that is how it works. That is how it functions. That is looking beyond the reality and the monotony. I can't even speak anymore. of just going, everyday routines and boom, 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 not being conscious of what's going on around you or in you, but if you just take that concept and say, okay, this is how I've lived.
Yes.
Now I'm aware that there's this whole new concept, it's not new, but maybe to some people,
yes.
They're becoming aware of it, that they can choose how they vibrate, they can choose what they create, they can choose what they don't want, what they do want, and it's all about knowing that this exists and believing that it exists and believing that we are a soul having a human experience, and the soul has experienced every emotion that there is to experience. So we know inside, our heart tells us when we have an experience that we don't like, we know that straight away if we're aware of it, if we open our eyes and our heart. And it also resonates and knows when something is good for the soul, when something lights you up and you feel excited or you just feel calm. I mean, there's so many different emotions, but it's a good feeling. The good feeling, and go after the good feelings always. I mean, Abraham says this constantly and constantly and constantly. Go for the good feelings, go and raise your vibration, and then you're in the vortex and you attract everything and everyone to you that resonates, that vibrates on that frequency. And then you start creating the life you desire. I mean, it's so simple and so not easy. It is, but you know, we get mixed up. We get it is difficult sometimes because we get caught up in everyone else's vibration. We get caught up in situations. We get caught up in events, but I mean, it's starting to become more and more clear, I think, for a lot of people that, whoa, stop, what's going on for me right now? What do I desire to experience? How do I change it? And what would love do right now? This is a question I've been asking myself in this personal situation I'm in at the moment. I'm having some personal shifts, and I've been going in and asking, okay, what would love do right now? Because I know myself to be pure love. So what would love do now? Am I being kind to myself, or am I being kind to the other person, or what? You know, what's going on? Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest follows.
Yes, it does.
It's a practice habit, and sometimes it takes a little bit of work, and not even work, maybe more consciousness.
Yes.
But it's a habit that you create.
Yes.
Just like anything else.
Yeah.
Yes. For some people, they may say it may not come easy to them, but you practice it every day, like you did maths at school, like you did writing. It just becomes. It just is.
Yes, and also allowing yourself just to be, without judgment. I mean, some people say we don't have to practice spirituality because we are spiritual beings, and I totally agree with that. But at the same time, it depends where you are in your life, and some people require to really know and remember who they are on a soul level, on a vibrational level. So I believe for those it is important to create a practice so that they use some time, some energy to connecting to themselves. So we know that just being is the key, but sometimes we are so brought up in such a different environment that we don't even know what being is. So it's so important to read books that inspire you, not because somebody else recommends them, but because you can try that, but read them because they inspire you and they light something up inside of you. See YouTube videos, talk to people, connect with us in the group. We're always here to support you, and ask questions. There's no judgment. We just love you all. And we're here just to support, and we're all on a journey. So, and this was the intention of the group. This is so that we can all connect together, so that we can all share and create this space of love and no judgment, and just be there with each other, And it's beautiful. And we have a soul family, and it's so amazing, So use us, use the group, connect, and contribute and engage and just enjoy it. Have fun. That's what we do. Yes. So I think we've said what we need to say today. How do you feel about that? Yeah.
Yeah, it feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Quick note about
Yes.
the books. I used to go in, so when I first started my spiritual journey or my journey within, I used to go into the shop that conveniently opened up across the road where I used to work, and I ended up being there every day. So she had a small book of a small collection of books about that wide on her shelf.
Yes.
And they were very valuable texts. But I never noticed until I was ready for the next part of my journey or for the next. I had set the intention of what I wanted to release or wanted help languaging. The book suddenly appeared, and I said to the girl that owned the shop, and I said, "When did you get this?" She goes, "I've always had it." So you become aware too, you become aware too for when you're rising to the next point. So whether it's a book that's going to help guide you to the next level, whether it's a particular connection with a person, or particular connection with our group, for example, that's going to move you forward. There's always going to be something to help you shift. You have to have the intention for it.
Yes. And observe and be awake.
Yeah. And not necessarily go looking for it, but just be.
Yeah, and know it's there and know it's coming to you.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yes. But being awake, because of course there's a huge part of the manifestation process, and that is taking action. So we don't want it to be the force energy. That's not what I'm talking about. But when the opportunity arises, and when people connect, and if you sense that the energy is there where you desire to be, then you have to take the next step, which is action. And an action step can be like we talked about, like by doing the 30-day challenge on manifestation, and writing a letter to your soul, and writing intentions to put in your jar. And it can be
sitting in nature,
singing, dancing, showing the universe that you desire more fun in your life. So go out and create some fun with someone or with yourself. You know, if you desire more love in your life, give more love. If you desire more money in your life, give to someone else who's more needy than you. So that's actions, you know. And it has to be light, and it has to be fun, and it has to be something that comes from your heart. It doesn't work if you feel like you have to, because you don't have to do anything. It's all about creating.
Yes. Yeah.
So, thank you, Daniella. This was fun. We're going to do this again.
Yeah.
Yes. And group, I would just love to say to all the members of the group, thank you so much for being a part of this beautiful soul family. I love you all dearly. And please shout out, either send me a private message, and if we're not friends, or Daniella, if we're not friends, befriend us and send us a private message if you require any assistance, or there's something you would like us to create in the group, because it's your group. So please just contact us with anything. Okay? We're here.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you for now. Bye.
Bye.